Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the series on the 1984 300D. Today I just went up to my other location and picked up the car on the trailer, and I've got it back here to the shop. And today we're going to go ahead and pull it out of the trailer, give it a basic car wash, and then I'm going to pull it into the shop. We'll put it on the lift, and I'm going to do my initial inspection to see what all are the things I want to do to this vehicle. So let's go ahead, pull it out of the trailer, and do a car wash. So the car just came out of the transport from Nevada, just outside Las Vegas. And you know, it's a little dusty. So first thing I like to do is just clean them up a little bit. And let's take a quick peek at just literally the condition that I received the vehicle in. Also, I want to point out, this seat is awesome. I think this car may have belonged to the original owner's wife, because it feels like no one has really sat in this. And when they feel like that, it's usually because the person driving it weighed like, you know, 110 pounds or something. I mean, when I sit in here, it is so comfortable. It's one of the firmest seat cushions I've felt in a 123 chassis. And, you know, sometimes the seats will like lean a little to the left because the springs are worn out and you have to repair that. But this car absolutely does not have that. And keep in mind, I haven't cleaned in here, 69,000 miles. And I haven't cleaned or done anything, guys. This is how the car showed up. I would consider a car like this preservation class. Meaning it's preserved in almost mint condition to when it was new. You got the typical wrinkling on the door cards. I mean, that's literally every 300D I've ever seen. But yeah, it has all those moldings around the window. Excuse my trash pile over here. That's where I put trash from the shop. I have a service that comes and picks that up. But yeah, these moldings, those are always wrinkled on these cars. And this one is not. Look at that. Pretty remarkable. Yeah, back seat, I doubt that was ever sat in. All the windlace around here. See how blue the windlace is? There's no sun fading. See, this is the B-pillar piping. See, there's no sun fading. Little lint on there. We'll get all that in the detail stage, which is several videos down the road. But yeah, see how blue this is? Absolutely zero sun fading. Obviously, the car was always in the garage. Look at the grain pattern on the steering wheel. There's literally no wear. I can almost 100% guarantee this was driven by a very lightweight woman. Anyway, let's go look in the, before I start the car wash, let's go look under the hood. I mean, guys, this is original paint too. And it's a little dirty right now, but look how beautiful that is. Just wait till I wash it, and then wait till Scott details it. Yeah, so this is absolutely 100% preservation class. Let me show you guys this. You can see it's dusty. I haven't cleaned. I'm about to clean under here. See, there's dust under here. One thing I look at, so the air filter housing lid. Guys, look at that. Original paint. Original zinc plating. I'm going to clean all this up here, and it's going to blow your mind what this is going to look like once I just give it a simple clean and degrease. Obviously they were caring for the car. They've got a new hood pad on here. That's usually like the first thing to go on one of these cars. But what you're looking at is absolutely 100%. This would be a preservation class car. I mean, look at the oil cooler lines right back here. Incredible. Let's clean this up, and this is the before. Let me go ahead and clean it, and we're going to show you the after. Also, I'm just going to give it a nice hand car wash. So, all right, before I start the car wash, I want to point out one more detail that a lot of people don't know because they haven't seen a lot of these cars. So you see the rubber, how it has this nice sheen. It's got a nice shine on it. That's like the original, you know, like that factory. There was like a shiny almost coating on the rubber on these cars. Now, over the years, that stuff wears out or wears off, and these become like a little more of a matte or satin finish. But you can see on this car, that original sheen is still on here. Let me see if I can show you back here too. And that's not like tire shine or anything like that. It's like a sheen that came on these from the factory, and only the very nicest garage kept cars look like that. You can always see a reflection in here. You see that? Here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is you know, a used rubber piece off of another bumper. See how it's more of a matte finish and it doesn't have that shine to it? Only the nicest garage kept vehicles look like the bumpers do on this car. Now, this is not purple power. This is just an empty container I have. I use the heavy duty degreaser from Harbor Freight, and it works fantastic. There we go. We're just going to spray this degreaser all over the engine. And it won't hurt anything, guys, and you just want to let it sit for a couple of minutes. All right, let's go ahead and move to the engine compartment. Let's spray that down, and then we'll get it back in the shop and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I just want to limit the watermarks we get on here. Keep in mind, Scott is going to be detailing this vehicle as the last stage over at his shop. I just like to clean them up nice before I start working on them. Makes it more enjoyable when you're working on a really clean, nice car. All right, that should be good enough mechanics car wash. Like I said, Scott's going to be detailing it later. So let's go ahead and start the inspection. And guys, there is a reason that I call this a preservation class car. Preservation class car is, you know, highly original in remarkable condition, meaning all of the original components are still on the car. Front suspension, front brakes, rear brakes, original shocks. Everything on the car is original, but that's not the only thing that matters. It can't just be all original. It has to be all original and in remarkable condition. That's the thing people miss. They'll post their cars for sale. Hey, 1984 Mercedes, all original. That's not what matters. It has to be all original and remarkable. When you see listings for all original classic diesel Mercedes, guys, these are not muscle cars. The reason that term all original came out with classic cars is because back in the day with the 60s muscle cars, everybody blew up the engines. So they had to replace the engines. So they came up with the term, all original, numbers matching, when you're selling a classic, 68 Camaro, because you're saying, hey, the 18-year-old that owned this didn't over rev it and blow up the engine. It still has the original engine. That term, all original, it doesn't matter with a classic diesel Mercedes. All of them are all original. You never see a classic diesel Mercedes for sale. I'm not going to say never. Occasionally you'll see one that had a factory engine replacement. But 99% of them out there are all original. All the cars are all original. People weren't hot rodding and modifying classic diesel Mercedes. So when you say, oh, this is an all original 40-year-old car, of course it is. All of them are. What matters is that it's all original and in exceptional, remarkable condition. That's what matters. And just to continue on my rant about classic cars, all original and remarkable, that's not the only thing that matters. There's several check boxes you have to check in order to make a classic Mercedes actually have value. All original paint, but the paint has to be in remarkable condition. Like this, 10 out of 10. All original interior, but that interior has to be incredible. No cracks in the wood, no cracks in the dash, no cracks in the seat, no fading. Remarkable condition. You have to have low mileage, meaning on these cars, anything under 100,000 miles would be low mileage. So exterior paint, interior condition, low mileage, and remarkable condition. That's what makes these cars have value. If any one of those check boxes is not checked, the cars are not valuable at all. And what I'm about to show you is remarkable. Take a look at this. Guys, what you're looking at here, it's still a bit wet. I tried to dry it off. That is a remarkable original condition. This is exceptional. This is 10 out of 10 original condition. All of your original factory markings are still on the car. All of the original zinc plating is still on the car. The paint is not chipped or faded on the air cleaner housing. The original sticker still on your brake vacuum booster. You don't have a rusted and crusty master brake reservoir. All of your fittings, all of your rubber hoses and fittings are mint condition. Stop sticker still there. Now, yeah, look at that. I have not done anything to this engine. That is remarkable original condition. That's what matters. Can't just be original. It has to be original and remarkable. So knowing that this is now original condition, there's a few things we want to do. Like, this is cool. That's the original the AC manifold insulation. It is still around the AC manifold here. Beautiful. But there's a few things I want to point out on this car that are unique. Guys, everybody knows about the 1985 California cars, right? That was a 1 year only. They moved the air filter housing up here. There was a trap oxidizer and the turbo actually was moved up to right there. This is a 1984 California car. It is also unique to California. And here's how you tell. So first thing you're going to notice, there is no, what do they call it? The amplifier for the RPM gauge. This car actually has an OVP relay, which didn't come out in the other cars until 85, the federal cars. There's an OVP relay. I got a stack of them over here. Also, you'll notice the vacuum system on top of the engine. Where is it? It's not here. You don't have the vacuum connections like on the 83, but you also don't have your AC shutoff switch like on the 85. So this vacuum system is unique to the 84 model. And you'll notice what's on the 85 model is usually located right here. It's a junction for all the vacuum hoses. On the 84 California model, it's all right over here. That's unique. This is a 1 year only 84 California model. And in my opinion, this is the rarest and most highly sought after, the 84 California model, because we got the upgraded vacuum system, we got the OVP relay, we don't have the amplifier here. However, there's no trap oxidizer. This is still like the 49 state federal cars. This is a very special vehicle. So anyway, enough of that. We need to start the inspection on this car. Being original, we come up here and you notice we have that original primer pump. These are prone to leaking, so we want to go ahead and change that primer pump to the upgraded Bosch primer pump. I can see these diesel injector return hoses. Those are old. They've been on there a while, and we want to replace those. Here's what the new stuff looks like. Well, I'm sorry, not the new stuff. This is the genuine Mercedes stuff. Looks like at some point they might have put the Colleen, the black hose on there, but we're going to use the genuine Mercedes stuff. So that's just a couple of things in the engine compartment. And we're going to go through everything in the engine compartment later. We might need to do a valve adjustment and other things like that. But what we want to do now is get this car up on the lift. That's remarkable. That is insane how nice that engine is. What we want to do now is get the car up on the lift and go through the undercarriage. Here we go. Just before we lift it up in the air, when I say 100% original and remarkable, this is what we're looking at. That is a flawless factory original blue dash. That is flawless factory original wood. Original radio. Looks like they still have a tape in here. Let's see what they were listening to. Ted Nugent. Hey, at least they had good taste in music. It's funny. Now, keep in mind, guys, I haven't dry ice blasted this car. I haven't cleaned the undercarriage. What you're about to see is a preservation class, remarkable, 100% original, and it has not been cleaned under the car. So you're going to see what that really looks like on a 40, what is this, 1984, what, 41 years old, something like that. This is what it's going to look like. So let's go ahead, get it up on the lift. I'm going to make a list of everything that I want to do to this vehicle. Okay, before we raise the car all the way up, we're going to go ahead and do it like an eye-level inspection around the car here. First thing you see, the original Bosch made in Germany headlight bezels. Those aren't the reproductions, and there's no cracks in those. If we go around here to the original bunt wheels, probably one of the nicest original that hasn't been repainted. I haven't powder coated that. Probably one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. And the reason is, if you look behind here, the owner installed brake dust shields behind here. That's what that black thing is. Now, if we go ahead and pick up here, guys, I haven't washed in here. You saw me do the car wash outside. I haven't cleaned anything in here. Look how remarkably clean this is. That's all the original paint under here. And you can see the upper control arms. Boots look good here. You know what? I don't like the way that bushing looks there. That's an original bushing. See, it's gotten a little crusty over here. See that? So we're going to go ahead, change the upper control arms. I'm pretty sure this is an original shock. We'll see that when we get under here. So first on the list, change the upper control arms. And if we go under here, yeah, you can see the jack points. This is a California car, and it moved to Nevada. I guess probably when they retired, they moved out of the Los Angeles area into Nevada. But I can see all the trim is, that's as good as it gets. All these moldings along the car. It all has that like that slight sheen to it, like it never saw daylight. Yeah, you can see the jack points, mint condition. That's all the original paint under here, mint condition. The silver blue paint, I looked up the paint code. It is silver blue. It's not diamond blue. I would say that's mint condition. Again, back here on the back, wheel is beautiful. Lug bolts aren't even rusted. And keep in mind, I haven't cleaned at all and under here. Look how clean that is. You never see them like that. Now, you can even see see that gray paint right there? That's where Mercedes, when they were painting the rocker panels, the spray gun would come down here and it'd whip around into the wheel well. And you see where they whipped around and sprayed, the paint would get into the wheel well. That's the factory stuff. Looks like he pulled it an extra time and dripped a little bit right here. That's how they look when they're original. Back here, this rear bumper, remarkable. It's getting a little dark outside. Hopefully my camera's lighting everything up. All the tail lights, remarkable. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and lift this up in the air. And I think this pinstripe here, I think that's hand painted. Yeah, the dealers would apply those pinstripes. Some of them would hand paint them, and some of them would use like a vinyl sticker. Again, the bunt wheel, beautiful. Look in there. That has not, I have not cleaned that. That's how that looks. Pretty remarkable. Again, you can see the paint whipped around. There's that primer that they painted the rocker panels, that primer color. Beautiful condition, jack point. All of the trim, especially down here, you know, that's near the road. It's not torn up at all. It's, like I said, preservation class. Let's go ahead and go underneath here and look over here at the front. Can't wait to look underneath this car. Yeah, same up here. That's an old original upper control arm. See where that bushing is starting to cock out a little sideways there, and that rubber is a little rough right over there. So we're gonna change those upper control arms. Look at the sway bar. Look how clean that is. That's what it looks like when a car has like never seen water. Pretty crazy. I think that's the original shock. And again, the bunt wheel over here. See, there's the dust shields in here, brake dust shields. So never got any brake dust on it. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and raise it up on the lift and start our undercarriage inspection. All right, go ahead and lower it down to the locks. Here we go. We're safely on the locks. All right, let's go up here and start our inspection. First thing I always do, I come in here from the driver's side straight to the compressor. Now, a common area of rust on the 300D is that seam right there and that seam right there. And look at that. That's perfect, flawless condition. Now, you can also see a sign that this is original paint. Remember this gray rocker color, like it's a primer color Mercedes would use? Well, they would continue that all the way around and pick it up again right here. And they would spray it all the way down the lip of the car. And when that's still on the car like that, see it right here? See where they did the primer? You know that's an original paint car because painters always paint over that. They never reapply that primer strip. So just something cool I wanted to show you guys. Immediately I noticed the zinc plating is still on the AC manifold and the lines here. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the old original Harrison compressor. So we're gonna change that AC compressor out. That's an old original one. It might even still work if we charge it up, but we're gonna go ahead and change it. And if I go over here, that is the original ball joint. You can see the ball joint boot has cracked. See all the grease has started leaking out of it. So time to change our ball joints. And that's an original brake caliper, original brake hose. Guys, this is just an all original car in beautiful condition. So we're going to do, you know, a complete new brake system because you don't want to drive around with 40-year-old brakes. Even though that brake caliper is not leaking and it works excellent, a 40-year-old brake caliper, if you start driving this car every day, that could start leaking next week. It could start leaking next year. There's no way to predict that. So I always go ahead and change the brakes. New brake hoses. We'll put those on here. Yep, that's just an original 40-year-old brake hose. And I see right there, we want to do some new engine mounts. See where the engine mount? I can pull pieces of it off right there. It's just deteriorated. Because this is an original, no one has ever tampered with this car. Now that's actually still very good. The tie rod, it 60,000 miles. We probably don't need to do that. Those last well over 100,000 miles. Yeah, see that drag link, this is excellent condition. So I don't know, I'll look more into that. I mean, those are great. Our steering shock, and excuse the dripping, you know, I just washed it, and there's water under here. Again, that's a original brake original ball joint. See the grease right there has started leaking out of it because the boot breaks. That's what happens on them. We're going to go ahead and change the shock. Change the shock, change the brake caliper, check the wheel bearings, all that kind of stuff. Upper control arms, lower ball joints. You can see, we need new engine mounts over here. But one thing I want to point out here, look how crazy this is. I swear those oil cooler lines look brand new. I mean, hang on, let me look up here. No, I mean, I guess that's the original. It's just remarkable. That looks like a brand new line, doesn't it? That's crazy. Also, look at this. The zinc plating is still on the transmission cooler line. That's what I'm talking about by remarkable preservation class. That is just, you don't see them like that very often. Also, if you look up here, this is where the oil filter housing mounts to the block. And there's a gasket in there. Look at that. Not one single drip of oil anywhere. Look at these brackets. That bracket is still zinc plated. And it's been under the car for 40 years. That's just an example of an incredible car. Let's look at the lower control arm bushings here. Oh yeah, those look great. Yeah, let's go look at them on the other side. Yeah, those lower control arm bushings are beautiful. We don't need to do a damn thing with those. Let's check our guide rod mounts back here. Pull those back. Look at that. Beautiful. Boots are still intact in there. And we don't need to change those guide rod mount boots either. These guys, these usually last well over 100,000 miles. And whoever gets this car is probably not going to drive it enough to wear those things out. So yeah, brakes, ball joints, shocks, brake calipers. We'll probably do the the rotors, brake rotors, check the wheel bearings, all the normal stuff up here on the front of the car. Engine mounts. Let's go back here. So this exhaust, this is a beautiful original exhaust. Now, you always have surface rust on an exhaust, 100% normal. But what you look for is any rotten or totally rusted exhaust. And that is absolutely not what this is. Exhaust gets hot and cold, and it attracts moisture, so you always get some surface rust. What you want to look at is the seam right here where they connect together. If they're all rotten and corroded, you'll get exhaust leaks all in here, and they'll have black exhaust lines running all down here, and that's just not the case. Let's move back here to the back of the car. Yeah, drive shaft, beautiful condition. Yeah, the original paint is still on there. Flex disc, beautiful condition. Yeah, it looks like it has the old original shocks in here in the back of the car. We'll get out those old original shocks. It's got the old original brakes, brake hoses. Yeah, old original sway bar end links. We'll change those. I don't see any drips from the differential. Yeah, the axle boots are fantastic condition. Check that out. Yeah, that is great condition. But again, old brakes. It looks like, yeah, someone has already flushed the tank. Look at that. See where they put that's a new hose. Oh yeah, see where the diesel dripped down on the boot back here? That was probably done recently. Yeah, and that's already, the tank strainer has already been changed. So that's fantastic. You can see there's a new hose right there. Yeah, I can see the new, fuel sending hose. That's already been replaced. So yeah, they were maintaining it. I'm sure it was still driving. Yeah, check back here. You always look back here for rust. Now, you have a little dirt back here, but look how beautiful that is. I mean, it's pretty much, you see the original paint. It's not all black or corroded. Yeah, up underneath the bumper, you see, look at all the Cosmoline wax still in there. See that like orangish yellow, orangish red waxy spray? That's the spray Mercedes would spray underneath here. Let's see if I can pick a little off for you. There you go. You see how it just, I can wipe it like that? It's just waxy substance that keeps it from rusting. Yeah, there's no rust or anything. I mean, yeah, this car's like lived in the most healthy, incredible climate ever, which is, you know, California and Las Vegas are, as long as you keep them in the garages, these cars just, they always come out amazing like this. There's a little dirt back here, you know, I'll wipe off our rear control arms and whatnot. But we'll do the shocks, brakes, brake hoses, ball joints, engine mounts, sway bar end links, rotors, bearings, ball joints, all the stuff, all the usual suspects, guys. Let's look back here at the transmission mount. Yeah, I'm going to inspect that further. I think that's an original transmission mount. Now, that flaking, don't let that alarm you guys. What that is, they would paint these things from the factory. I don't know why, but the paint will peel off. See? It's just rubber underneath that paint. I don't know why Mercedes would paint them, but they would. They just paint them black. Up here we see our drive shaft. There's our drive shaft center bearing support. Yeah, very tight. Nothing wrong with that at all. All the original factory markings on the drive shaft right here. So I'll inspect this further. Look how clean it is up in the transmission area. Let's check our shifter bushings. That is a very common, yeah, okay. Those are original shifter bushings. If you look right here, you see where it's already started cracking. See, you can see the crack there. That's just, they're rotten. Those are 40-year-old shifter bushings. But when those rot, let's see if I can demonstrate. Okay, see, that connects to your gear shift in the car. And when that rots, this thing will like flop around. It'll clank around, you'll have a loosed gear shifter. So we're gonna change those shifter bushings. And there's one right up here. Oh yeah, see, this one's already come out. Let me see if I can show you guys. I'm gonna actually grab the shifter linkage from right here. And let's see. All right, you see it? See it there? That one's rotted out. And that's kind of flopping around right there. So we'll go ahead and throw a new shifter bushing in there. You know, we'll probably have to do the cruise control and Bosch primer pump, injector return hoses, flush all the fluids and filters. We'll do the wheel bearings. I'll pop off the wheels and check out the rotors. But yeah, what you're looking at is an incredibly well-preserved 300D. It is very, very difficult to find them like this. Just original and remarkable. That's the takeaway from a car like this. Now, keep in mind, I'm changing all of the wear items on the car. So I want to go ahead and look at the rotors. And these are Michelin MXV tires. I'll have to look at the date code. I think I'm going to go ahead and order new tires. These do look older. So I'm going to go ahead and put some new tires on here. But basically all the wear items. Let's go ahead and get this off of here and have a look. Now also look at this. Another example. The zinc plating. I think they had like a zinc plating from the factory, and you can see it is still that gray color. It hasn't worn off. Usually these will turn brown or get a little crusty. This is a little wheel removal tool. You can just thread it in here, and that way when you take out the last bolt, your wheel doesn't fall off. Not necessary, just makes things a little easier. I can tell the right torque was also on those lug bolts. Little details like those matter. Okay, let me show you on the back of this tire, that brake dust shield that preserved these wheels so well. All right, there you go. See how nasty it is behind the original wheel? And look at that. This covers that dust shield there, keeps all this brake dust. See, look at this brake dust. It's all collected down in here. But that shield keeps it from getting on the wheel. And that is why those wheels are like perfect condition. So we'll definitely leave those on here. All right, let me set this aside. Let's go ahead and inspect these rotors up here. Okay, these rotors were changed at some point. Yeah, there's no lip. But again, I'm going to go ahead and Look how amazing it looks in there. That's 41 years old. I am going to change the original brakes. You know, that's just something you have to do, guys. You don't want to drive around with 41-year-old brakes on your car. That hose, that's an original hose. But like a little spider web up there. Yeah, I'll go ahead. You know what? I'm just going to change these because I want to pop off our grease cap and change our wheel bearings and seals. You know, all of the wear items, the brake pad wear sensor, the brake pads, the rotor, the calipers. So we're going to do all that, even though this is really not horrible condition at all. We're just going to go ahead and go fresh and put all brand new parts. All right, let's go ahead and get this. I mean, even the caps, the original Mercedes plastic caps on here don't even have a mark on them. Let's go ahead and get this rear wheel off. Yeah, that's just remarkable condition. These are probably the original. I feel a slight lip right there. So we'll go ahead and change these also. And again, original calipers and hoses. We're just going to change everything back here. All new brake system. Also, let me show you this. Look at that. Maybe a little dirt right there from the brake system. And you know, Scott's going to clean and detail this and remove all that, but this is the condition I received it in, which is just crazy. It's amazing. So anyway, we'll get this stuff off of here too. Even the original muffler back here, the paint is all still on the original muffler. You can see it's come off in a little area, a few areas right here. But normally the mufflers look a lot worse than that on these cars. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the inspection. We'll see you next time. Take care.